What's up, everyone? Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Whoa, we're going to talk about OnlyFans today. And look, I'm not one of those fitness guys that just goes in and says porn is bad, don't watch porn, dopamine, this and that. There's a lot of data that's coming out that shows that, hey, porn isn't necessarily good for you to watch. Dopamine overload, it messes up your relationship, messes up your chance of intimacy with an actual person, gives you unrealistic expectations of, actual like sex with another person, not just watching porn. I see porn in more of a gray area, right? Like I think porn can be watched by couples to spice up their intimacy. I think porn can be something that men or women use to maybe, it's like research, right? Like you look, you're like, hey, I got to try that move. I got to try that position. So I'm not one who obviously habitual, addiction porn is not good. But look, man, if a dude wants to watch a porno every now and then and rub one out, I'm not really mad at that. Or if a couple wants to get together and, just watch some porn to spice up their sex life, maybe spice up the mood. Look, man, I've been married a long time. I understand that sometimes shit can get stale. So I'm not anti-porn. I'm not anti-OnlyFans, but again, I'm a libertarian type. I believe everybody has a right to do what they want when they want. I believe adults should be 100%, able and to partake in prostitution, in stripping, in all these different things. Like you are a free-thinking human being. You're an adult. If you and another person have a consensual relationship, be it financial or sexual or intimate, hey, you do you. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? But this gets the point. So looking at OnlyFans, I'm not really worried about, obviously it's kind of weird that dudes are paying multiple people $10 or whatever it is a month to watch them strip. Like, dude, do better. Like, go pick up chicks, do what we used to do. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me. I would never subscribe to an OnlyFans, but I'm not saying that if you do, you're a bad person or you're doing it wrong. But I will tell you this. Regardless of what it does to the people buying the OnlyFans, I do think that these women are pigeonholing themselves into be topped out, glass ceilinged in the workplace. And let me explain. But first, I want to just look at this article from the real world to kind of show you that it's already kind of been happening, right? So let's go to this. Teacher fired. This from 2022, not a new article. I just want to show you that this is already happening. Over raunchy OnlyFans. School says, why does it keep doing this? School says she put reputation at risk. So she's been expelled. An elementary school teacher has been fired after her OnlyFans account was uncovered by her employer, but she's thankful to have support from fans in the platform, which she called empowering. Sarah Seals, 40, was terminated by bosses at Starbase on June 27th after the educational organization claimed her racy online account was putting its reputation at risk. Starbase is run by the Department of Defense, blah, blah, blah. Outside the classroom, the single mom had been discreetly running an OnlyFans account, sharing nude selfies with subscribers. However, her double life was turned upside down late last month when a reporter from Real News, Michiana, exposed the Educator online article entitled, "Local Teacher Has Porn Site on the Side, Has Kids Call Her by the Nickname She Uses on the Porn Site." Interesting. I mean, dude, like, I'm not being mean. But, like, if I'm going to pay money to see someone naked, like, if I'm saying this right, I hear the kids say it, this chick is extremely mid. Like, dude, if she can make some bank doing OnlyFans, I can imagine that, like, a hot chick, like some of these ones I see on Twitter, I follow a lot of them. They're great women. Again, I'm not judging. I'm all for porn. I am pro porn. Again, when it comes to addiction levels, yeah, but again, I've given scenarios where I'm okay with porn. Or maybe you just like porn. Okay, you do you. You watching porn does not affect me. I'm not a porn guy. I don't watch porn. But I mean, I've seen porn. I'm okay with it. It's nasty. But I mean, all of us some of us, I mean, people do nasty things in the bedroom. It is what it is. We just don't film it. Well, maybe a little bit. The published piece subsequently attracted the attention of Starbase officials, promptly terminated her. These photos pose an immediate risk to the reputation of a business or dealings of Starbase Indiana. I want you to read this sentence. These photos pose a real and immediate risk of harm to the reputation or business dealings of Starbase Indiana. and the loss of schools, donors, community partners in our contract to compete with the state National Guard. See, again, man, I'm not paying for that, bro. Like, you as a man, if you're even like a 6, you make a couple bucks, you should be able to actually get one of these in real life and not have to pay for it. Like, that is extremely mid. Extremely mid. Proud dismissal. She took to Instagram about her saucy side hustle being exposed, writing, "I am shocked and saddened by this vile attempt to ruin my life. If you could think of any way to help, I would appreciate it. I feel heartbroken. Please send $20. I will show you panty pics." She didn't write that. I just made that up. Several days later, she confirmed she had been fired to her OnlyFans and her 1,700 Instagram followers. Can you imagine if one of these Instagram girls with like 2 million followers, how much they're making? Even if this girl's making $100 a month, because again, I'm not bad. Like, she's attractive, but like, I'm not paying to see that naked. I'm just sorry. It just seems like the bar for nudity and for making money in porn has really lowered since the Jenna Jameson days. By the way, confession, as a teenager, I watched a lot of Jenna Jameson porn. Not going to lie. I actually probably have spent so much time with her. Anyway, that's besides the point, but let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about this. All right, guys. So I want to bring up some points. All right. I really want to bring up some points. And I want you guys, again, if you're listening to this live, I want you to kind of join in, ask some questions, give some opinions. I read most comments, if not all comments, that make sense to read and to do whatever with. It also makes the video for people who listen later a bit more lively, because it's not just me ranting and raving about whatever I'm usually ranting and raving about. And before I go forward, I would just like to tell you, I own a supplement website called tigerfitness.com. That's tigerfitness.com. If you don't shop there now, please shop there. We're a family-owned business located in Loveland, Ohio. We have warehouses in both Ohio and Nevada. So everything gets to you in 1 to 2 days, most likely, usually next day, and free shipping over $99. Again, we carry everything from protein, creatine, outright bars, you name it, we got it. Hundreds of brands. tigerfitness.com. We appreciate it. Again, it's not Amazon. It's not a big no-name company. We are an actual company with great people, family-owned, USA company. We appreciate it. Anyway, on to the next one. Okay, so the problem with OnlyFans, and I would like to break up some coffee here, okay? Sit back and talk to you about when I had an opportunity presented to me before OnlyFans. In fact, before the internet was even above a 56.6 modem, when you were using dial-up for the most part. Some schools had T1s and stuff, right? But when I was in college, I was, believe it or not, before I aged, I got big and ugly. I think that I was a decently attractive male. You know, I was in great shape. I was shredded, is around 20, 21 years old, right? Phenomenal shape, young, you know, athletic. I was a good looking guy. And a guy came up to me because I worked at gyms, and he's like, "Hey, you know, we would love for you to come and work for us." And turns out he owned strip clubs, both gay and straight. For me, it wouldn't matter. If I'm going to strip, I'm going to go where the money's at. At that time, I was engaged to my now wife. So it would have just been purely for money. But then I thought to myself, man, what if someone takes pictures? This is before the internet, before we had, you know, everybody has one of these and they're just going to be like, just taking pictures of you, right? So, you know, it was before the internet, but I somehow had this feeling that it wasn't going to be a good look if I'm trying to get a corporate job. I'm trying to be a CEO. At that time, I was I had big plans. I never planned on starting my own business. I wanted to work for other people, work up the corporate ladder, and be a CEO. And I just knew that it wasn't the right choice. So instead of taking the easy money, which I don't know how much money it would have been, but back then strippers made good money, and I'm guessing they're making money now. I don't know. I haven't priced the market lately. But, you know, instead of doing that, I just I kept training people at Bally Total Fitness, and I was the PT coordinator for that region in California. And I went and got an extra job selling shoes at Big Five Sporting Goods. I also worked in the alumni office on my campus. So I ended up working more, and I ended up working these really low paying, except training, I got paid pretty damn well, really low paying, medial jobs, but I worked a lot of them. I worked a lot of hours instead of taking the easy way out and just making money. And I don't regret that one bit, because right now, I mean, you'll see some pictures. I mean, I'm a bodybuilder. You'll see pictures of my striated glutes. You'll see pictures of me where you can see an outline of my hoopty hoops. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, you're not going to see an actual picture of me, I don't know, showing my butt and flexing my bicep like a guy named Chuck Basher did. Like, I just didn't do that because I was like, dude, this isn't going to be good for you, right? Now you look at, speaking of that, the Chuck Basher thing, like we joke around about it, but imagine how hard that is to be taken seriously. If you're like, you know, I went from convict to CEO or whatever, a millionaire, whatever it is, and you keep having to explain to people why you did gay porn. You know, and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't judge people by that, but unfortunately people do. And Kai Green will make many jokes about being the grapefruit man, about the guy who had sex with a grapefruit. And I would even say a lot of people have told me they feel that's the reason that he never won a Mr. Olympia, because they didn't want the grapefruit man. Again, not my opinion. This is what's thrown out there. I'll tell you my hiring opinion in a minute here. But at the end of the day, if you have online porn of you being Chuck Basher or you having pictures with a grapefruit or even just seductive sexual and, you know, naked, let's say naked or sexually provocative pictures, like that will limit your job opportunities. And I'll get into this now. While it wouldn't do anything for me to hire you, I don't care. Can you do the job? Number one, are you a good person? Number two, I understand, like, when you're young, you make mistakes. And I'm not going to judge somebody by a mistake they made or a decision they made when they're 18 to 21 years old, or even when they're 40. You know, times are tough. If I'm trying to put bread on the table for my family, I'll strip. I'll do whatever it takes. I don't care. I'm going to do whatever it takes to provide for my family. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not going to do that. However, I'm not everybody. I'm just one guy. And a lot of corporations, a lot of companies, especially those in the public eye, especially those with Christian values, which our company has, not in that way. I'm not that prude about it. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Like, you run your company or you want to run your company. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be very hard to get ahead or get hired at large firms if you do have pornography floating on the internet. It is what it is. Now, if you start your business, if you do it yourself, if you're an influencer, and also, so what's the problem with that? Well, the problem is there's only one team in this world that is undefeated. It's not even a team, it's a guy. And his name is Father Time. Father Time is undefeated. Once you hit 40, 45, 50 years old, your earning potential goes down. Where when I hit 40, 45, 50 years old, I'm looking at C-suite options where I can start looking into moving past upper management and becoming a CEO, becoming a CFO, becoming a COO. If you look at those positions, it's usually 40 to 60-year-old people, dudes and chicks. It's men and women. It is not discriminatory. I have a female CEO with one of my companies, right? Like, it's great to see that. Women have a great management style. My favorite CEO I've worked with of all time is a female, right? So putting it in perspective, a company I'm associated with just hired a new CEO, a female. And imagine if the board, who is comprised of everyone from, you know, staunchy billionaires to young startup guys, right? Imagine if they're looking at this woman's history, her whatever, and they find an OnlyFans page. And because it doesn't matter to them, they're gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna see what's on here. I'm gonna spend the $9.99 and see who we're hiring here. And you got a woman or a man. I mean, men can do it too, right? I'm talking about women and men, but mostly women are crushing it on OnlyFans, right? And she's over there and she's having sex with her partner, or she's doing some acts to herself, or even just posing nude. I'm pretty certain 9 out of 10 companies, pulling that number out of my ass, I have no data, 9 out of 10 companies are not going to hire you because of what you're doing, because it's going to be detrimental to their company, to their reputation. And it doesn't look managerial. It doesn't look CEO-ish if you're willing to be a sex worker for money. And that's another thing. Yes, you are a sex worker if you're on OnlyFans. It is what it is, guys. I mean, look, man, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm a libertarian. I'm all for prostitution being legalized. That's how I roll. However, when you are selling images, likenesses, or sex acts of yourself, whether you're a porn star, whether you're a prostitute, whether you're an OnlyFans model, you know what people are doing with it. You're a sex worker. Sure, it's a lower degree of a sex worker, but that's how the world looks at it. And if it's fair, look, man, life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. But at the end of the day, dude, you made your choice. Now you got to deal with it. So, video guys, when you're looking at, when times are tough, let's say you're an attractive dude, attractive chick, or as we saw from this woman right here, you don't even have to really be that attractive. If you're simply willing to take off your clothes and show your hoo-hoo or your wee-wee or your ha-has, then someone's going to pay for it. So the question you need to ask yourself, is it worth the future to make in the present? And there's a lot of people on Twitter I'm friends with, a lot of girls who have OnlyFans pages, and they'll be like, and they're like, hey, check out my OnlyFans. I'm like, good for you. You're making money. But if my daughter had an OnlyFans page, that would kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm not happy about that. I'm just not happy about that. So if my daughter had one, I wouldn't be. So you have a father who's probably like, he might say he's cool with it. He might be. But if that dad's anything like me, he's like, I kind of messed up along the way. My daughter's a sex worker. You know, I mean, just that's what dudes think. That's what dads think. That's what I would think. And maybe I'm a prude, you know, maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of guys really feel the way I do. I really do. And besides that, I look at the long term, and I look at the hire that was just made at one of my companies. And I look at the fact that I didn't have anything to do with this hire. I found out about it after the fact. But I'm looking and I'm like, man, imagine if she had that. Would it affect her being hired? And knowing most boards, not this board specifically, but the boards I've worked with, and I've worked with multiple boards. Yeah, that's it. That's a killer. That's it. Like, you're not getting hired. You're not getting hired. There's no chance in hell you're getting that job. Not a chance. Not a chance. So if you're a female or a male and you have that opportunity, I implore you to think about the long term. And hey, OnlyFans might be good for you. It might be exactly what you want to do. You might really think it's a good idea. And even after the fact, it's worth doing. Hey, you do you, and I support you. And I think it's absolutely awesome. Good for you. However, looking long term at your earning potential outside of sex work, I really don't think it's a good idea. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get to some questions here or some comments. So if you have anything, ask them, and we'll go ahead and answer them. All right. From Gene Umang, you don't need to have a brain. Just show them cheeks. You make millions. It's actually happened quite a bit lately. You're right, Gene. From Gene, just bought Machine Whey October 13th. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to get my protein. It should, depending where I get there in the next day or two. That's fantastic. But it's okay to talk about being a tranny. Am I allowed to say tranny? Look, man, I'm okay with people being who they want to be. Just don't expect to use the same restroom as my daughter without me saying or doing something. And don't expect me to not be upset if you're in the public, you know, if you're in a public school and teach. I don't want anybody talking about that stuff to kids. I don't want straight man, straight woman. I don't want anybody talking about that to the kids, man. Like that's a parent's job, period. Not an OnlyFans exclusive. A streamer who plays games was just fired from his job as a teacher for reputation issue and looked at his thumbnails and swearing on stream. Schools are uptight. Yeah, I've had issues as a coach as well with that. You know, and that's fine. I get it. You know, it's the school's right to do that, and I'm supportive of it. Sex sells, bottom line. If that, look at my nipple, look at my, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Not showing nipple. Lady Hawk. Hey, Mark, great to catch you live. Great. Thank you for being here. You'd catch some of our, let's use the ones with Alan you're in. Most fitness models, sex worker, only doing OnlyFans. Most of them or some? I don't think most. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes from Lady Hawk. I'm pretty libertarian. Do what you want to do with life, but you need to be willing to reap the consequence of your reaction. Absolutely. Personal responsibility is personal responsibility, right? Logan, shoemaker. For my kids, I believe they have more to offer the world than their bodies. They're both intellectual and have so much going on with their noggins. They both talk about engineering and being a pilot. I think OnlyFans is the catch-all for a lot of failed attempts. Amen to you, Logan. Much respect. I believe, is that your wife in the picture? You are an attractive couple. You are a very handsome couple. And to that, I tip my hat to you. Lady Hawk, TF crushes it on the shipping. Would expect to receive it soon. Oh, yes. And I think we have one more, unless one more comes in from Gene. I'm a huge supporter and fan of your channel, and also Chris Jones. Well, Gene, I'll speak on behalf of Chris Jones. Say we love you. Anyway, guys, I'm going to play this immortal ad at the end of this video because I got bills to pay. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And of course, wait, hold on. Boom, 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 boom. That's not a game. Oh, I did it live. Yeah. I used to have to go through dozens of bottles of vitamins, of supplements, just to get what I need. Look, I'm busy. I'm running multiple businesses. I'm coaching. I'm a professional bodybuilder getting ready for my first pro show. I don't have time to sit there and do all that. I gotta go. I'm on the go all the time. That is why I created MTS Nutrition Immortal. Here's how they look. This replaces dozens of bottles of supplements. And let me tell you exactly what this has. It has probiotics, greens, liver detox, joint support, cardiovascular support, and the most complete multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement ever created. If you have a busy life or you simply want more time to do the things you love and be able to travel by just taking one simple little pack with you, Immortal's for you.